1976, a porn star hit the Billboard Top 10. A duck quacked its way to number 1. And a classical composer, dead for centuries, got a disco remix that slapped. This wasn't just peak 70s, this was musical chaos. And somehow, the radio couldn't get enough. Gas was 59 cents. Your dad's sideburns had their own zip code. And if you were anywhere near a roller rink, grocery store, or shag-carpeted living room, you heard these songs. But then they vanished. These 8 one-hit wonders ruled 1976 and then disappeared like bell-bottoms in the 80s. And we're starting with the one that somehow beat the Boston Pops at the Grammys. Starland Vocal Band and their innocent little ditty about, well, let's just say afternoon activities that weren't exactly approved by the PTA. These 4 clean-cut harmony singers managed to slip the horniest song of 1976 past every radio programmer in America by disguising it as a wholesome picnic anthem. And it worked. It hit number 1, sold millions, and somehow won them the Grammy for Best New Artist. That's right. Starland Vocal Band snagged the 1977 Grammy for Best New Artist, somehow beating out Wild Cherry, Dr. Buzzard's original Savannah Band, and, hilariously, the Boston Pops Orchestra.
And everything's a little clearer in the light of day.
Because nothing screams up-and-coming new artist like a symphony founded before your grandparents were born. The kicker? Lead singer Bill Danoff had already co-written a little song called Country Roads for John Denver. So the guy went from Mountain Mama to Afternoon Mama, if you catch my drift. The band tried to follow it up, but America apparently only had room for one innuendo-laden folk pop song at a time. Go figure. Here's a fun fact that'll make you question everything. Elvin Bishop didn't actually sing his own hit. Nope, that soulful voice crooning about fooling around belonged to Mickey Thomas, who was basically Bishop's hired gun vocalist. Bishop played the guitar, Mickey got the glory, and then Mickey went on to front Jefferson Starship during their "We Built This City" phase. That's either impressive versatility or a tragic cautionary tale. So basically, this guy's career trajectory went from blue-eyed soul to corporate rock hell. The song itself was like a power ballad before power ballads took over the universe.
I love a man, I leave him alone.
Just a guy, his feelings, and enough guitar crunch to keep your older brother from completely disowning you for liking it. It peaked at number 3 and proved that sometimes the best way to have a hit is to let someone else do the singing while you stand there looking cool with the guitar. Oh, Andrea True. Bless her synthesized heart. Here's a woman who figured out how to transition from adult films to the pop charts, which is either the ultimate American success story or proof that disco really could make anything mainstream. Her one hit was basically 3 minutes of demanding more of, well, everything, set to a beat that could power a small city. It was shameless, it was infectious, and it was absolutely perfect for an era when subtlety went to die in a polyester grave. The best part? She recorded this in between, other projects, proving that in 1976, career diversification was alive and well. The song hit number 4 and became a roller rink staple, which means thousands of 12-year-olds were unknowingly skating to a disco anthem by a former adult film star. The 70s, everybody, get ready for this. One of the biggest tearjerkers of 1976 was about a dog. Not metaphorically about a dog, literally about a dog named Shannon, who belonged to Beach Boys drummer Dennis Wilson. Henry Gross, former member of Sha Na Na, yes, the oldies revival group from Woodstock, wrote this weepy ballad after hearing about Wilson's Irish setter dying. And America ate it up with a spoon. Number 6 on the charts, gold record, The Works. Think about that for a second. In the same year that gave us the Ramones' debut album, one of the biggest hits was a grown man crying about someone else's dead pet. This is why the 70s were simultaneously the best and worst decade for popular music. No quality control whatsoever, just pure emotional chaos set to whatever instruments happen to be lying around. Leave it to 1976 to take Ludwig van Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, you know, that da-da-da-dum thing that everyone knows, and turn it into a full-blown disco number. Walter Murphy, just a regular session musician who probably never imagined he'd be disco-fying dead German composers for a living, took that famous opening and slapped a 4/4 beat under it. The result? A #1 hit that made every high school orchestra teacher in America question every single life choice that led them to that moment. Classical music purists were literally having nervous breakdowns while America danced to 200-year-old melodies in platform shoes and bell-bottoms. Murphy tried to follow it up with disco versions of other classical pieces because apparently one musical crime wasn't enough for this guy. Spoiler alert, America wasn't quite ready for Disco Ninth Symphony or whatever he had planned next. Sometimes lightning strikes once and then moves on to terrorize someone else's career, you know? Sometimes all you need is a hit TV show to launch you back onto the charts. John Sebastian, former Lovin' Spoonful frontman, wrote this theme song for a little show called Welcome Back, Kotter. You remember, the one with a young John Travolta before he could dance his way out of Brooklyn and into our hearts. The song hit #1 and suddenly Sebastian was relevant again, riding the wave of Vinnie Barbarino's charm and Gabe Kaplan's sweat hog supervision. It was the perfect marriage of 70s nostalgia and 70s television.
Dreams have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained.
Back when theme songs actually tried to be, real songs instead of 30-second jingles. Here's the irony that probably kept Sebastian up at night. He wrote a song about going back to your old school, and it literally became his ticket back to musical relevance. Sometimes life imitates art, even when the art in question is a sitcom theme song about remedial education and bad haircuts. Memphis radio DJ Rick Dees committed what might honestly be the greatest musical crime of 1976, and got rewarded with a #1 hit for it. Disco Duck was exactly what it sounds like. A disco song featuring actual duck sounds. Yes, duck sounds. Quack, 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 set to a disco beat, because why the hell not?
Moving my feet to the disco beat. How in the world can I keep my seat?
Dees got fired from his radio job for playing his own record on the air, which tells you everything you need to know about how seriously his boss took this particular musical masterpiece. But America bought 2 million copies of a song that featured barnyard noises and what sounded like a duck with a talk box. This is the same country that would later embrace the Macarena with open arms, so maybe we shouldn't be that surprised. The song spawned a dance craze, an entire costume industry, and probably gave actual ducks everywhere a serious complex about their musical abilities. Peak 70s absurdity officially achieved. British soul singer Maxine Nightingale gave us the ultimate roller rink anthem, with this slice of disco soul perfection. And I mean ultimate. It was literally impossible to hear the song without wanting to strap on some quad skates and attempt moves that your adult knees now absolutely forbid you from even thinking about. The song peaked at #2 and became the official soundtrack to every grade schooler's birthday party at Skateland, USA. You know the drill. Awkward preteens in tube socks trying to look cool while navigating around the rink, praying they wouldn't wipe out in front of their crush. It had that perfect disco-pop hybrid sound that made absolutely everyone think they could dance, even when all available evidence clearly suggested otherwise. Nightingale tried to follow it up, but never quite matched this level of polyester-powered success. Sometimes you catch lightning in a bottle, and sometimes that lightning is the exact right song for kids to skate awkwardly to while their parents sit in those uncomfortable plastic chairs, drinking beer and wondering where their lives went wrong. Here's your daily reminder that white guys from Ohio can, in fact, fake funk well enough to pay the rent. Wild Cherry was a rock band that got told by a club owner to play more funk music. So they went home and wrote what became the ultimate white boy funk anthem. The song hit #1 and proved that sometimes the best way to be funky is to completely admit you're not funky, but you're going to try anyway. It was self-aware appropriation at its finest, and somehow that honesty made it work. Rob Parisi's vocals were equal parts pleading and commanding, like he was simultaneously asking permission to be funky and demanding that you acknowledge his funkiness. The band tried to recapture this magic, but learned that authentic inauthenticity is surprisingly hard to replicate. Gary Wright gave us one of the first all-synthesizer pop hits with this ethereal slice of keyboard mysticism. It sounded like what your acid trip would sound like if you were too cheap to buy Pink Floyd, but still wanted to feel cosmically significant. The song was pure 70s new age spirituality set to a melody that somehow made the Moog synthesizer sound both futuristic and ancient. It peaked at #2 and became the go-to song for anyone who wanted to sound deep but didn't want to commit to actual prog rock.
Take away my worries of today.
Wright was a former member of Spooky Tooth, which is either the best or worst band name of the 70s, depending on your tolerance for dental-themed rock acts. Dreamweaver was his escape from tooth-related imagery into full-blown cosmic consciousness, and America was apparently ready for the journey. Vicki Sue Robinson took a song that had been rejected by multiple artists and turned it into a disco masterpiece that basically functioned as a 3-minute aerobics class. This was pure kinetic energy disguised as a pop song. The track was written by Gerald Jackson and Pete Jackson Jr., no relation, because the 70s weren't that organized, and it became the template for every dance song that followed. Robinson's vocals were part cheerleader, a part drill sergeant, demanding that you move whether you wanted to or not. It peaked at number 10 and proved that sometimes the best disco songs are the ones that don't pretend to be anything other than reasons to move your body in questionable ways. Robinson never matched this success, but honestly, how do you follow up perfection? The Bellamy Brothers gave us the ultimate hippy-dippy pop anthem with this slice of feel-good philosophy. It was like the musical equivalent of a macrame plant hanger. Completely sincere, slightly ridiculous, and absolutely perfect for its time. Let Your Love Flow was everywhere in '76. Fun fact that it was written by Larry Williams, a guy who just happened to be Neil Diamond's roadie, which means technically we can thank Neil for outsourcing his laundry to the right guy, because otherwise this song might have never happened.
There's a reason for the sunshine sky.
The song hit number 1 and proved that America was still hungry for songs about letting things flow, whether that was love, rivers, or just general good vibes. The brothers would later become country stars, but for one shining moment, they were pop philosophers dispensing wisdom through 3-part harmony. It's one of those songs where you know every word of the chorus but couldn't pick the singers out of a Police lineup. They were musical vessels for pure 1976 optimism, and sometimes that's exactly what the world needs. And there you have it. 12 songs that defined a very specific moment in American pop culture history. These weren't just one-hit wonders, they were time capsules, perfectly preserved slices of 1976 weirdness that somehow made perfect sense when gas was cheap and everyone owned at least one piece of clothing that would now be considered a fire hazard. Sure, most of these artists disappeared faster than mood rings and pet rocks, but their songs are immortal in that weird way that only 70s music can be. They show up at wedding receptions, grocery stores, and classic rock radio stations, reminding us that we were alive during the golden age of musical absurdity. So, which one of these beautifully ridiculous songs is still living rent-free in your brain? Drop a comment below and tell me which 1976 one-hit wonder you're not ashamed to admit you still love. And if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, hit that subscribe button, because we've got decades of musical weirdness left to explore. Until next time, keep your polyester pressed and your disco ball spinning. And remember, if it was good enough for the bicentennial, it's good enough for us now.